Welcome to CA Wisdom channel, all of you back. Okay, so we will be studying chapter 2. Okay, so what is the name of chapter 2? Types of financing. कितने तरह के फाइनेंसिंग होते हैं, फाइनेंस का ऑप्शंस कितने तरह के, कहाँ कहाँ से हमें पैसे मिल सकते हैं, दैट इज टाइप्स ऑफ फाइनेंसिंग. So we will divide this chapter into two parts. Okay, so there will be two parts of this video, so basically you have to see the both of the two parts to understand completely this chapter. Okay, so basically we will be learning types of financing. Okay, so we will get into this financial needs and sources of finance of a business. Okay, why we need finance and what are the sources of a finance of a business. Okay, so there are three types of finance. Okay, long term financial needs, medium term financial needs, and the last one is short term financial needs. Okay, so long term financial needs will be like 5 to 10 years. For what? For buying plant, machinery, land, buildings, etc, etc. Okay, what will be medium term financial needs? Medium term financial needs will be like between 3 to 5 years. For what? Okay, for like advertising, publicity, revenue expenses, funds. Okay, like that will be required for that will be categorically considered as medium term financial needs. Okay, now short term financial needs. Short term financial needs will be like below for need for below 1 year. Okay, for what? Like working capital. Working capital means day to day basis finances, and for stock, debtors, cash, etc, etc. Okay, that will be considered as short term financial needs. Okay, now there is one basic principle for funding various needs. Okay, there is one basic principle. Okay, that is means for long term financial needs you have to get long term financial sources. Likewise, for medium term financial needs you will have to get medium term sources, and same goes for the short term also. Okay, so that is the basic principle. Okay, now we will be going to some we will be seeing some example. So yeah, for purposes non-current asset. Non-current asset means like fixed asset. Okay, so fixed asset is mainly plant machinery, so we have to go towards long-term financing because it is big. Okay, it is heavy. Okay, so we have to pay in installments, so we have to get long-term investment. So long-term investment, long-term financial sources. Okay, so long-term financial sources such as equity or long-term loan. Okay, that will be type of borrowing. Okay, now for current asset it will be like current asset is like basically smaller than the fixed asset. Okay, so we can go for short term loan as well. Okay, and even long term loan as well if that is a medium term or SME businesses. Okay, and the last one non current asset. Okay, so if it is a non-current asset, okay, basically a fixed asset, but for large corporate it will be a small thing. Okay, so large corporates will go for short-term loans. Okay, so that is types of borrowing. Okay, let's go ahead and divide it into stages. Okay, so let's divide a company into stages and we will see for which stage which type of sources are required. Okay, so let's go in reverse order. So if a company is in a stable stage means which is already stable, which a company which has already taken its growth. Okay, which has gone through the growth process. Okay, now it's stable, now it's that company is like blue chip. Okay, it's stable. Okay, so a company which is stable is always there's a certainty or their uncertainty is very low. Okay, so their uncertainty is very low, so we can take debt. Okay, debt will be a good source of finance. Why? Because debt is a free of tax. Okay, it's an expense before tax. Okay, so we can take debt. Okay, now if a company is in growth stage. Okay, if a company is in growth stage, so there will be like a moderate to low uncertainty it will be moderate to low uncertainty. So there we can like proportionately take debt or equity, private equity as well. And venture capital, what does it, in a single line, if I tell you what is venture capital, it is a venture, it is basically a venture which provides you capital, that is venture capital. Okay, that is okay. Now for early stage. Okay, now for early stage means high uncertainty, very volatile. Okay, so there a person has to take its own capital, its own finance. He has to provide its own finance, because no one will be willingly ready to give their income. Okay, because there is so much risk in that. Okay, so basically the major source of fund will be like equity only. Okay, and then after equity, the one of the major will be like angel fund. Angel fund means basically a fund provided by an angel. Now who is angel? Angel means someone who help you in that process. Okay, so it can be a family member, it can be some business typhoon, a person who is very rich. Okay, he can provide some fund, that person will become a angel fund. Okay, angel capitalist. Okay, okay, in early stage there are two types, like high uncertainty, so they will go basically for equity and angel fund. And then like if in early stage some company or some businesses are moderately uncertain or high to moderately uncertain, then they can go for equity, debt, as well as venture capital, as like in growth stage. Okay, understood? So that was basically divided into stages. Okay, now let's move forward. Classification of financial sources. Okay, so we have classified financial sources on some basis. Okay, so first basis is based on basic sources, second basis is based on maturity of repayment period. Okay, now we will be doing both of that. Okay, so first, how a sources of finance is divided or is categorically separated on the basis of basic sources. Okay, so there are two types of sources, that is, one is internal source as well as the other is external source. Okay, so internal source, what does it mean? Internal source, can company make its own source? Do you think? Can business make its own source? Do you think? Yes, of course. Whenever business earns profit, from that profit, some profit can be retained, some profit can be kept aside for the business itself. Okay, that will be considered as retained earning, and that will be a type of internal source. Understood? Now we will be moving to external sources. So there are basically only two types of external source. Okay, one is capital or equity or share capital, and the other one is debt. Okay, equity or share capital means taking our own money, debt means taking others money. Okay, simple. So first, share capital in share capital there are two types, equity shares as preference share. Equity shares means who is the owners. Okay, preference share means they don't have rights as like the owners, but they get some preferences. Okay, now debt or borrowed capital. Okay, so in debt or borrowed capital there are three types: debentures, loans from financial institutions, and others. Okay, so that was finance based on basic sources. Understood? Now we will be moving forward. Sources of finance based on maturity of payment. Okay, maturity of payment means basically redemption. Okay, redemption. Okay, repayment. Okay, that is maturity of payment. Okay, so there are three types. Okay, I will be taking one example from each and you can understand rest of it. Okay, so sources of finance is divided into three parts. Okay, long term, medium term, as well as short term. Okay, so long term I will take in one example of each. So here long term will be like share capital. Medium term it will be like I will be taking debentures, and for short term it will be trade credit. Okay, we will be understanding one by one. So long term, share capital. Okay, share capital, when are the money the owners getting back its money. Okay, at the end when company goes insolvent, they will be getting back their money. So for that wise, because of that, it is considered as long term. Simple. Now for medium term, like debenture. Okay, so debenture can be hold for one year, 2 year, 3 year, okay, like that, and the company has to repay its amount. So basically for like 1 year to 3 year, that will be considered as medium term. Okay, if the repayment is there. Okay, for short term, like trade credit. Okay, taking credit for trade. Okay, so it's like basically credit for day to day basis. Okay, so it can end within a year. Basically it will end after 3 months, and like before 6 months, before 9 months. Okay, so that is trade credit. That's why it is called as short term. Okay, understood. Now we will be moving forward. Okay, now we will be deeply understanding all the three sources. Okay, like long term sources of finance, medium term sources of finance, and then the last one. What the last one is short term sources of finance. Now the long term sources of finance, we will be deeply understanding it. So first is share capital. Okay, share capital and debt. Okay, so share capital, or we can say owners capital, or we can say equity capital. So what are they? Okay, so I will be reading characteristics. Okay, so it is an source of permanent capital. You have to know it. It is a source of permanent capital. Okay, understood. And then, so it is a source of permanent capital. So it is good or bad? It is very good. Okay, the holders of such capital in the company are called what? I already wrote. They are called shareholders. Okay, or owners. Okay, do they take highest risk? Yes, they are taking the highest risk. Okay, so what they should get? They should get highest return in the way of dividends. Okay, they are getting what? Returns. Okay, in the way of dividend. Okay, dividend means basically appropriation of some of the profits which a company has earned. Okay, that is dividend. When they get the repayment, when they can get the capital amount back. Okay, at the winding up. Okay, so at the end. Okay, so shareholders can get the amount at the end. Okay, understood. Now ahead, the cost of ordinary shares is usually the highest. Okay, as why? This is due to the fact that such shareholders expect a higher rate of return on their investment as compared to other suppliers of long-term funds. Okay, understood why it is the highest. The cost of ordinary shares is usually the highest. Now, they have said the cost of ordinary shares is usually the highest. Now, what is cost? Cost here basically means the dividend. Okay, understood. So that is basically the highest. Okay. Ordinary share capital also provide a security to other suppliers of funds. Okay, so debt ratio is comfortable to cover the debt. In equity shares there are various types. Okay, like new issue, right issue, bonus shares, sweat equity. Okay, so there are certain types of equity. Now we will be seeing the advantages. We have studied the characteristics. Now we will be studying the advantages. Okay, so what are the advantages? As I already said, it is the permanent source of finance. Okay, it is a permanent source of finance. Okay, as these shares are not redeemable. Okay, till the company is alive, till the company is not dissolved, the company has no obligation to repay its cash back to the shareholders. So it is it is also beneficial to the company or the business. Okay, understood. Okay, understood. So that is one. Okay, that is two. Equity capital increases the company's financial base, and thus helps to further the borrowing powers of the company. Okay, and this helps to raise more funds with the help of debt. Okay, this is because debt will enable the company to increase its earning per share. Okay, see, if a company is taking some equity, okay, that means they are moving to stableness. Okay, the company is going to stableness. Now they can get some of the debt. Okay, they can take some of the debt. Okay, because they have already made safer options by taking equity. Okay, so now they can take the debt. Okay, so they have, now they get the power to take debt. Okay, so, and debt is always beneficial to a company. Okay, because of it is an expense before the tax. Okay, so that's why it is also beneficial. Okay, a company is not obliged to pay dividends. Okay, there is no compulsion of providing dividends. Okay, so even that is an advantage to the company. Okay, a company can increase at any time. Okay, by issuing a right share, dividend, bonus share, anything. Okay, it can increase its share capital. Okay, now we will be moving to disadvantages. Okay, what are the disadvantages of raising funds by issue of equity shares? Okay, so disadvantages क्या क्या होता है? Okay, we will be learning one by one. Okay, dividend income is taxable. Yes, that's the one of the major thing. Dividends are taxable in the hands of recipient of dividend. Okay, investor always find equity capital as risky. Okay, because of uncertainty in the capital gain and the dividend. Okay, so major of the investor doesn't goes for equity. Okay, the issue of new equity shares reduce the earning per share. See, as the shares increase, like if there is a cake, okay, if the number of people increases, the part of that cake will decrease. Okay, the divided cake, the share of a cake will get decreased. Okay, if the number of if the number of person increased. Okay, so likewise in the equity shares as well, it is disadvantage for the owners. Okay, the issue of new equity shares can also reduce the ownership. Okay, even it can reduce the ownership and control of the existing shareholders, the previous shareholders. Okay, so it can also decrease that. Okay, that was one. Okay, now preference share capital. Okay, how it is different from equity share capital. Okay, so preference share capital have some preferences. Okay, so we'll be learning all of it, don't worry. So we will be learning the characteristics. Okay, see, they get the priority like payment of fixed amount of dividend. So they get the payment of fixed amounts of dividend, and they also get the repayment of capital on winding up of the company before the equity shareholder. Okay, so these are the special preferences that they get. Okay, unlike the equity share capital. Okay, long term funds from preference shares can be raised through public issue of shares. Okay, preference share can be issued through public issue of shares. Okay, they are cumulative. What does it mean? Cumulative means if a preference share earns some profits, and then they have to take on and on that profit until it is repaid. Okay, they have to repay everything. Okay, a profit, even a loss can be taken into the next year. Okay, and that loss will be reduced by it. Okay, the rate of dividend on preference share is normally higher. Okay, it is higher than what? It is higher than the debentures. Okay, debt, it is higher than the debt, but not higher than the equity capital. Okay, most of the preference shares these days carry a stipulation of period. Stipulation of period basically means there is certainty, there is some tenure okay, against the repayment. Okay, so at the end they have to get the repay, the amount should be redeemed. Okay, preference share capital is a hybrid of what? Debt and the equity capital. Okay, so it is an hybrid of debt and equity capital. Okay, cumulative convertible preference shares, CCPs, okay, may also be offered, under which the shares would carry a cumulative dividend of specified limit for a period of say 3 years, after which the shares are converted into equity shares. What does it mean? See, there is three words: cumulative, convertible, preference share. Preference share is basically a preference share. Convertible means it can convert after certain period, it can convert into equity shares. Okay, that means convertible. Okay, what is cumulative? Cumulative means that I said previously, means basically accumulating the profits or losses, okay, till the end. Okay, so that is cumulative convertible preference shares. Okay, preference share capital may be redeemed at pre-decided future date. Okay, it can be redeemed at pre-decided future date, or at an early stage. Okay, or at an early stage out of the profits of the company. Okay, so that was characteristics of preference shares. Okay, so types of preference shares we will be seeing. So one is cumulative. Okay, whatever the dividend it is, it will get arrear. Okay, it will be accruing. Okay, it will be accruing, and it can be redeemed at the end. Okay, non cumulative means the dividend is not arrear, accrued, and it has to be paid. Okay, redeemable means redemption can be done, amount can be get back, you can get the amount back. Okay, participating preference share means basically the participating preference share owners can participate in this surplus. Okay, means whatever the extra amount, if the company is earning, they can get that extra amount as well. Okay, non-participating means they will get just the fixed rate of dividend. Okay, nor the extra, or nor the surplus money, or nor the surplus benefits. Convertible means, it means after certain period, after certain conditions, it can be converted into equity shares. Okay, so that was convertible. Okay, now we will be studying advantages and disadvantages of preference shares. Okay, see, if you are issuing a preference shares, okay, it is basically it is not, they are not actual owners of a company, so there is no dilution in EPS. Okay, earning per share. Okay, earning per share is not changed. Why? Not because of that owner, they are not owners, because there is just fixed rate of income. Okay, so earning will be the same. Okay, or on unlatched capital base. Okay, there is always advantage of leverage, as it bears a fixed charge. Okay, see, if the rate of dividend is increasing, okay, if rate of dividend rate of cost is increasing, okay, but as preference dividends rate is fixed, so it can be considered like an leverage. Okay, it can consider like an hedge. Okay, hedge against the risk. Okay, there is no risk of takeover, or control, as the preference shareholders don't have voting rights. Okay, except if dividend payment are in arrears. If dividend payments are in arrears, they have the rights as like the owners. Okay, as like the shareholders. Okay, the preference dividends are fixed and pre-decided. Hence, preference shareholders cannot participate in surplus profit except participating preference shareholder. Participating preference shareholders can participate in the surplus. Okay, but a normal preference shareholder cannot get an extra amount, because it is fixed and pre-decided in the nature. Preference capital can be redeemed after a specified period. Yes, after a specified period, after that tenure, a preference capital can be redeemed. Okay. Disadvantages. So what are the disadvantages of raising funds by preference share? Okay, so one of the major disadvantages of preference share is that preference dividend is not tax deductible. Okay, so there is no tax shield against them. Okay, so they have to pay the tax. Okay, hence preference shares are costlier than debt. Okay, so debt is always beneficial to a company. Okay, now preference dividends are cumulative in nature, so we have to pay. Okay, I will read this para. This means that if in a particular year preference dividends are not paid, they shall be accumulated and paid later. Also, if these dividends are not paid, no dividend can be paid to ordinary shareholders. So until the dividends are paid to the preference shareholder, then only afterwards they can pay the dividends for the shareholders. Okay, so the non-payment of dividend to an ordinary shareholder could seriously impair the reputation of the concerned company. Okay, now we will be studying the differences between the equity shares and preference shares. Okay, so dividend payment. Equity dividend is paid after preference dividend. Okay, so equity dividend is always getting after preference dividend. Okay, and like in preference share, payment of preference dividend is preferred in preference share, payment of preference dividend is preferred over equity dividend. Okay, rate of dividend in equity share it is fluctuating according to the market. Okay, in preference share it is the rate of dividend is always fixed. Okay, it is always fixed. Convertibility. Equity shares is equity share itself, then how can it convert? So there is no convertibility. In preference share, yes, it can convert, okay, into equity shares. Okay, voting rights. Yes, for equity shareholders they enjoy full voting rights, and in preference shareholders they enjoy limited voting right, but if the dividends are in arrears, then they can get the voting rights like an shareholder. Okay, now retained earnings. Okay, so retained earnings, long term funds may also be provided by accumulating the profits of the company and plowing them back into the business. I will tell you one short story. There are two persons. One goes pick the mango from the tree. He put the seed of that mango into the ground again. Okay, the other goes eat the mango, throw away the seed. Okay, so the first person who is investing that seed again, means the fruit again into the ground, the money, the profits again into the company, he is growing. That is basically an retained earning. Okay, so that is the concept of retained earning. Okay, understood? Okay, debentures. Now we will be learning debentures. Okay, what is debentures? Okay, how many types of debentures are there? Okay, so let's study debenture. Okay, let's go through some of the characteristics of the debenture. So debentures can be issued in a denomination from rupees 100 to 1000, so there are restrictions. Okay, and carry some different rates of interest. Okay, and they have rates of interest. Okay, debentures are issued through debenture trust deed. Okay, debenture trust deed we have to know. Okay, so which lists it, and in that trust deed there will be written terms and condition on which debentures are floated in the market. Okay, debentures are basically instruments for raising long term. It is one of the type of long term debt. As we all know, we are learning the long term debt concept only. Okay, so yeah, maturity will be like from 3 to 10 years. for debenture, and it can be increased for projects having high gestation period. Okay, so yeah, debentures can be secured as well as unsecured. What does secured and unsecured mean? Secured means having some asset against that debenture trust rate. Unsecured means not having anything against that debenture trust rate. Okay, they may or not be listed on the stock exchange. Yes, it can or it cannot be listed on the stock exchange. The cost of capital raised through debenture is quite low. Okay, since the interest payable on debenture can be charged as an expense before tax. What are the major benefit? It is an expense before tax. Understood? That's why most of the companies goes for this. From the investor point of view, debenture offers a more attractive prospect than a preferential. Why? Because the interest on debenture is payable whether or not the company makes profit. Okay, the company has to give the interest on debenture. Okay, whether company is in loss or whether company is in major profit. Okay, they have to give it. So debenture can be categorically divided into three types. Okay, non-convertible debentures. Okay, fully convertible debentures, and third one will be like partly convertible debenture. Okay, so let's study. Non-convertible debenture means this type of debenture do not have any feature of conversion and are repayable on maturity. Okay, so the debenture cannot be converted into anything, and they are repayable. It have to be redeemed at the end of the tenure. Okay, fully convertible debenture means it can be converted into equity shares. Okay, as per the conditions and terms of written over the trust. Okay, in the trust. Okay, interest rate on such debentures are generally less, so the interest rates are less for this type of debenture, fully convertible. Okay, because they carry an attractive feature of getting themselves converted, because it can be converted at future time, at future. So because of that benefit, they are getting less interest today. Okay, partly convertible debentures. These debentures carry features of both convertible and non-convertible debentures. Okay, so if the investor want to convert, then they can, and they can partly redeem it by cash. Okay, so that was third, partly convertible debenture. Okay, other types of debentures with features. Okay, we will study bearer. Bearer means it can be transferable. It is a transferable like negotiable instrument, that is called as bearer. Registered means only the registered person is liable to pay the interest. Okay, to the registered person. Okay, interest is payable. Mortgage means secured. Okay, it is secured by a charge on the asset. A certain asset is set aside against that debenture. Naked or simple means it is unsecured. There is no asset against that debenture. Okay, redeemable, repaid means it can be redeemed after certain period. Okay, non-redeemable, it is not repayable. Okay, only they will enjoy only the interest. Okay, so these are the types of debentures. Okay, now we will be studying advantages and disadvantages of debentures, of issuing a debentures or owning finance through debentures. Okay, so the first advantage is cost of debenture is lower. Okay, lower than whom? Lower than the preference or equity capital. Okay, it is tax deductible. This is one of the major thing. So cost is lower, it is tax deductible. Also, investors consider debenture investments safer than equity. Okay, as they are getting fixed rate of interest, so it is always safer than equity of preferred investment. Okay, so even if they are getting low return, then also they will be quite okay. Okay, debenture financing does not result into dilution of control. Okay, so there is no dilution of control in debentures. Okay, so basically the ownership or the control is not reduced or increased by raising finance through debentures. Okay, in a period of rising prices, debenture issued is advantageous. The fixed monetary outgo decreases in real terms as the price level increases. In other words, the company has to pay a fixed rate of interest. In a period of rising prices, if the prices are rising, okay, debenture issue is advantageous because there are fixed rate of interest. Okay, fixed rate of interest. Okay, now the disadvantage of debenture financing. We will study the disadvantages of financing. Okay, so debenture interest and the repayment of its principal amount is an obligatory payment. Okay, it's an obligation. Okay, a company cannot say that they are owning, they are getting the losses, they can't provide you the interest. Okay, they have to pay the interest, they have to pay the principal amount. Okay, that is one of the disadvantages of the company. The protective covenants associated with a debenture issue may be restrictive. Okay, so there are some protective covenants uh, means it has to be secured, the denomination should be like from this to that. Okay, so there are some protective covenants. Okay, debenture financing enhances the financial risk associated with the firm because of the reason given in point 1. What? Financial enhances the financial risk associated because of the compulsory payment of interest and principal amount, so there is certain risk associated with that. Okay, since debenture needs to be paid at the time of maturity, a large amount of cash outflow is needed at that time. Okay, since it has to be paid, okay, a large amount of cash has to be provided or has to be stored. Okay, stored. Now we will be studying we will be studying the differences between preference shares and debentures. Okay, how both of them are separate, how both of them differentiate from each other. Okay, ownership. Preference share capital is a special kind of a share. Okay, debenture is like a debt we just taking from other. Okay, it is a loan, type of a loan. Okay, from the public. Payment of dividend. Preference shareholders enjoy priority both as regard to payment of fixed amount of dividend and also towards repayment of capital in case of winding up of company. Okay, in debentures it carries fixed percentage of interest. Okay, nature. Preference shares are hybrid of what? Debt as well as equity shares. Okay, debentures are instrument for raising long term capital. Okay, with a fixed period of maturity, Okay, so that was the differences. Okay, now let's move to bonds. Okay, so we will be studying bonds. So now we will be studying bond. Okay, so what are bond? Okay, it's a fixed income security. It's a fixed income security created to raise fund. Okay, so we will get fixed income. Okay, so against some securities, so that is bond. Okay, so types of bond. So there are two types of bond. One is callable bond, the other one is puttable bond. You don't have to worry about the terms. Okay, I will making it simple. Okay, so callable bonds means, see, there are two party. One is investor, the one who invest in that bond, and the one who is issuer, a company. Let assume here a company is issuing a bond. Okay, so company gives that paper of bond to the investor, and investor gives some amount to the company. So now company can call that investor to get back that bond paper, okay. So the company has the right to buy that is callable bond. Okay, so the company can at any time before the maturity can call, okay, can buy from the issuer, that is known as callable bonds. Okay, likewise, what is puttable bond? In puttable bond, an investor, the one who is an investor, can sell the bond back to that company. Okay, can sell back the bond to the company. So that is putable bond, means taking that bond and giving that money to the company and then putting that bond again back to the company. That is putable bond. So here they will get the right to sell. Okay, here that investor will get right to sell that bond back to the company. So that is putable bond. Okay, now there are various types of bonds. So there are two major heads, one is foreign bonds and the other one is Indian bonds. Okay, so now we will be studying the foreign bonds. Okay, so it's very simple, you don't have to worry about the terms. Okay, I will make it very simple. So the first one is foreign currency convertible bond. Okay, so it is a bond which are dealing in foreign currency. Okay, foreign currency. Okay, and they have the option of converting, as they have the option of converting into equity share. The interest rate is very low. Okay, the interest rate is very low. Okay, what are the benefits? The benefit is that they can get the foreign currency at very low cost. Okay, as it is a bond, the bond we can get at very low cost. Okay, so that is one. Second, plain vanilla bond. In plain vanilla bond, you are not there is no option. Which option? That call option and putable option, put option. So it is very simple. There is it is just an principal amount with an interest rate. That's it. Okay, that is called as plain vanilla bond. Okay, plain vanilla bond can include discounted bonds as well as and coupon bearing bond. Okay, so discounted bond means if a person and a company makes an bond of 100 rupees, they can issue that bond at rupees 60 rupees. Okay, at discount price at 60 rupees. So that investor after 3 years or 5 years they can get back full amount of 100 rupees. That is known as discounted bond. So it is beneficial to both. The company gets the money at that time in itself. The investor gets the money by increased amount. Okay, so that is discounted bond. Okay, in the form of coupon bearing bond. Now third one, convertible floating rate notes. Okay, convertible floating rates notes. Now what it is, see, there is a term floating rate. Okay, so it is basically according to the market rate, the rate of interest goes along with this note. Okay, and it can be convertible. Okay, so it can be convertible into what? It can be convertible into equity shares, then that becomes convertible floating rate notes. Okay, so that was convertible floating rate, and it is very risky. It is risky, but it protects an investor against falling interest rates. So because of this note, it protects an investor against falling interest rate. Okay, so whenever the market rate increases or decreases, it protects it. Okay, this convertible floating rate note protects that investor. Okay, drop lock bond. Drop lock bond, what does it mean? Drop and then lock. Okay, so whenever a rate drops, okay, a market rate drops to a certain threshold, this bond automatically locks the interest rate to certain extent. Okay, and the investor are saved by this option. Okay, so that becomes an drop lock bond. Okay, understood? So it is very beneficial. Okay, if the market rate is very volatile in nature. Okay, variable rate demand obligation, what does it mean? Variable rate means floating rate. Okay, according to the market rate. Demand obligation, see, demand obligation means there are certain condition. Okay, so the condition is what? If that bond, if a particular bond rate is very volatile, it's very variable, and that investor want to exit from that bond. Okay, he cannot exit at any time, no, but in this variable rate demand obligation he can. But how? What is the demand? Okay, what is the obligation for that investor? He has to give the principal amount plus accrued interest back to the trustee. If he gives that interest and principal amount back to the trustee, he can exit from this bond, that is known as variable rate demand obligation bond. Okay, now sixth one, yield curve note, yield curve note or YCN. Okay, yield curve note means whenever interest decreases there is something as yield. Okay, that yield increase. Okay, it acts like an hedge. Okay, it maintains the risk, okay, and return. Okay, so and whenever the interest increases the yield goes down, so this is yield curve note. Okay, it is a structured debt security. Okay, yield increases when prevailing interest rate declines and vice versa. Okay, so it is an hedge against the risk. Okay, now Yankee bond, seventh one is Yankee bond. Okay, so Yankee bond, samurai bond and bulldog bond, all three are most same. Okay, so euro bond deals in a country, in a country sorry, not euro bond, Yankee bond. Yankee bond deals in USA. Okay, samurai bond deals in Japanese. Okay, and bulldog bond is dealt with Great Britain or UK. Okay, so what are this bond? Okay, so basically Yankee bond, it is issued in USA, it is issued in dollars, means same country and in same denomination, but issued by non-USA companies. Okay, from other outside the other foreign, means basically foreign issuer, they are foreign issuer, but the denomination is in US dollars and it is issued in USA. That is one. Okay, that is Yankee bond. For samurai bond, it is issued in Japanese, it is issued in Japanese currency, that is Japanese yen, JPY. Okay, JPY, but it is issued by non-Japanese company. Okay, it is issued from the outside Japanese company, okay, that is samurai bond. And the last bulldog bond is issued in Great Britain. It is issued in Great Britain in denomination of Great Britain only, that is bulldog pound sterling or Great Britain pound, GBP. Okay, but issued, who is the issuer? It's non-UK company, it's outside the UK company, it's not a company of UK. Okay, so that is bulldog bond. Okay, now eighth one. Okay, eighth one, euro bond. Okay, euro bond basically means it is traded in a country, like if I take India. Okay, it is traded in India at a denomination of Indian rupees, that is rupee itself, so in rupee, but the issuer is from outside. Okay, the issuer is foreign, so that becomes a euro bond. Okay, that becomes a euro bond, that is simply a euro bond. Ninth and 10th over samurai bond as well as bulldog bond, I already told. Now let's come into Indian bonds. Okay, there are three types of Indian bonds: masala bond, municipal bonds and government or treasury bond. Okay, what is masala bond? Okay, so masala bond basically means like issuing at the Indian at India itself, at Indian rupees itself, but issued to foreigners. Okay, can sell to investors in overseas market, it is issued to foreigners. Okay, that becomes a masala bond. Okay, because it is in the name of India, it is used in the denomination of rupees, but it is basically issued to the foreigners. Okay, that becomes masala bond. Now municipal bonds are the bonds which are used for increasing the infrastructure of India. Okay, okay, that is municipal bonds. Okay, government or treasury bonds, the bonds which are issued by the government or treasury, they are known as government or treasury bonds. Okay, so that was bonds. Okay, now loans from financial institution. Okay, so there are two type of financial institution. One is national, which is in India, and the one is international institution. Okay, which is world, which is global. Okay, so there are just names. Okay, just names, just we have to get the names. not much important for the exam. So IFCI, Indian Finance Corporation of India, SFC, State Financial Corporation, IDBI, Industrial Development Bank of India, NIDC, National Industrial Development Corporation, ICICI, which is Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India, LIC, Life Insurance Corporation of India, UTI, Unit Trust of India, and IRBI, Industrial Reconstruction Bank of India. These are some of the national institution, okay, of finance. Okay, now international institution of finance, we will be studying international institution of finance. Okay, so the World Bank or International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, which is in short called IBRD. Okay, it was established in 1944. Okay, IFC, International Finance Corporation, ADB, Asian Development Bank. So these are some of the international institutions which are in financial institution. Okay, now loans from commercial banks. Okay, so we can take loans from commercial banks which is basically dealing in finance. Okay, it is a commercial bank which is directly dealt with people. Okay, so that is commercial bank. Okay, so short term requirement, they can fulfill the short term requirement of the industry. Okay, but now even the commercial banks have started taking interest in long term financing of industries in several ways, like for expansion, for setting up new units. Okay, they provide long term loans, okay, with long term period. Okay, as well as for working capital for day to day basis, they provides the short term as well as long term loans. Okay, that was the loans provided from the commercial banks. Okay, bridge finance. Okay, this is a concept. Okay, bridge finance refers to loans taken by a company, normally from commercial banks, for a short period because of pending disbursement of loans sanctioned by financial institution. See, we are taking loans from financial institution for reimburse, for disburse. Okay, for disbursement of that pending installments or whatever. Okay, so we are taking another loans. Okay, we are taking another loans from commercial banks. Okay, from commercial companies. Okay, and we are repaying it, okay, for a short period of time. Okay, so that becomes a bridge finance. Okay, so that becomes a bridge finance. Okay, so the next concept is venture capital financing. Okay, so we will be studying venture capital financing in the next part. Hope you understand everything we have studied in this lecture. Okay, so what all we study? We studied the bonds, we studied these debentures, we studied the preference shares, we studied the equity shares, we studied the types of financing and everything else. Okay, so this is the first part of the lecture. Okay, hope we have to continue the second part. Okay, you have to see the second part to understand fully, okay, the types of financing chapter, okay, under financial management. Okay, so we will meet in next lecture.